The elephant.
Tom Torson, resident Fort Myers Beach, here on behalf of the elephant today. I just wanted to, well, I wasn't intending to speak, so I shouldn't say I want to do anything, but this issue really surfaced last summer. I started visiting with individual town councilors 6 months ago, one-on-ones, and had quite a few sessions with them. This twist, which I understand from process standpoint now, to swing this back over to LPA was just, days ago. So I apologize for not having direct and invested the time in you all individually to kind of explain to you some of the history and how we got to the point that we're at today. So if I could just touch on that just a little bit. So for the last 6 months, I've been interacting with the council on this issue. It was last summer that we discovered the glitch, snafu, unintended outcome of good intentions in a process that was really mostly baked out in 2017. Our application went in April, May of 2017. I know it seems like yesterday, but I was a lot younger then. We, from the beginning, this jet ski, parasail, beach vendor operation, and having it be intertwined with the resort and operated by the resort was presented from day one. This is not a new issue. It was part of the whole CPD process that we went through. It was something that was really important to us. And it really wasn't anything that was contentious I mean, yes, it was discussed. It was discussed in the process. Anita's right. She was the town liaison appointed by council. We did not interact with individual councilors until we got to the hearing process. So by the time we got to the hearing process, which was 2018, spring of 2018, as Anita also pointed out, hundreds and hundreds of meetings took place. Jason, you came in maybe fall of 17, I think. Actually, a lot of the meetings that were formative in the application and the Spilkowski report and whatnot got baked actually even before Jason was on board. He was on board, I think, when it went through LPA and then council. But prior to that, he wasn't here. I think it was Matt Noble. But just, it's not an overstatement to say hundreds of meetings. And the issue of the parasail and jet ski licensing, it wasn't even licensing, but for us to operate those, have the rights for those, was really only dealt with staff because it wasn't a contentious issue. It wasn't a deviation. It was vetted out in our meetings, and we all felt we had it properly documented, both sides of the table, town, TPI. It was questioned in a meeting by myself, September of 17, in-person meeting with 25 of us upstairs there at the old town hall room, and it was decided then with all the consultants and experts and staff and us that the wording was acceptable as we had it drafted and as it proceeded forward through the process to accomplish what we all wanted it to accomplish. And I still think it probably is worded properly, but it's not clear enough. It's just not clear enough. But what's clear is what the intentions were. And there was a lot of give and take in the process, and you all know that. It was highly publicized, well-documented, open, community-involved process. But really, let me look at some of my notes so I don't ramble on and get yanked out of here. Really, what got discussed at the town council level were the 4 deviations. There's 4 deviations, and like building height, density, and things of that form. These types of details weren't discussed at the council level because they weren't anything that was of concern to anybody. Um, we do comply with Chapter 27. The wording is compliance with. It doesn't speak to licensing, and that's where it's a little bit vague. We meet the requirements, the covenants, we're in compliance with all items of Chapter 27. Having a license is not a compliance item in Chapter 27. That's the result of compliance. We are in compliance, and that's what the wording says in our CPD. I think your investigation will find out that we're the only CPD that has it in it on the whole island. That's a guess. I don't know that for a fact. You need to know that. I totally respect what you're doing here today. I think you're doing the right thing. I think you've raised the biggest issue and concern, and we have it too. It's not proliferation, which has a direct correlation to safety. We're not about proliferation. It's just that with the magnitude of what we were doing, there's some things that were really pretty important to us with the process that unfolded and the approval that was given. And there was a lot of compromise. There was a lot of give and take. And I'll wrap it up. Chris is right. We're a conforming, non-conforming location. We're a grandfathered location. So we are technically in compliance, and we are in compliance with Chapter 27. So I wish the best for the vendors. We don't mean anything harmful to them. I don't think they'll even feel the fact that of us operating these two operations on the beach. Last thing, I probably shouldn't say this in public, but we've tried to buy the licenses and you couldn't even guess the prices. You couldn't even guess, and I don't even want to quote it. You would not believe it. It's up there in the magnitude of what the price of these houses are selling for these days. So that's just ridiculous solution to the issue. They don't want to sell their licenses. They want to keep their licenses. And so if you're going to buy a license, okay. Enough said. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for moving this on.
Appreciate it. We have one more to speak.